I don't believe the term Karen is either racist or sexist. I'll give you an example. Bill Maher, internationally known Karen, constantly demanding to speak to the manager of Gen Z, who I believe is Billie Eilish. I doubt Billie Eilish will get within 5 feet of this guy. He's when it comes to young girls, he's known to be handsy. Another example of a Karen would be Whoopi Goldberg. I looked it up and it turns out Whoopi is not, in fact, her real name. Her real name is Karen. It's spelled with a C, just to be difficult, because she's a Karen. Karen I want to talk about right now, though, is the TYT Karen, Anna Kasperian. This is her diatribe. This is one section of her long diatribe about how oppressed she is.
As if it doesn't contradict the fight against racism. We've taken the bait in this extremely successful divide and conquer strategy. And to be honest, I've been struck by how effortlessly callous the online discourse has become.
Why, thank you. I know it seems effortless, but it's work, you know. I mean, it's not digging a ditch work, but, you know, there's effort. But I appreciate the compliment.
Any out-of-context viral video that features a conflict with a white woman is automatically considered evidence of a racist act, even before we have all the details. The latest example involved a pregnant hospital worker named Sarah Comrie in New York. She was captured on video during an argument she had with a black man over a city bike in Manhattan. The man claimed that he paid for the bike rental, but Comrie disagreed.
Record him. Help me! Please help me! Please help me!
Okay, I saw this video when I was agnostic, and I'll give you a few clues as to why I didn't buy into the idea that this is a typical Karen, like on the level of like Permit Patty or Barbecue Becky. There's a few giveaways that this was not a Karen situation. First of all, she was wearing scrubs. Second of all, she was surrounded by like 3 or 4 dudes, and she said she was pregnant, and they were saying stuff like, "Your baby's gonna come out street smart." You know what I mean? So I mean, oh yeah, and here's the real giveaway. Here's the real giveaway. She referred to one of the guys as a dude. She's like, "Dude." That to me is like when Lee Harvey Oswald calls himself a patsy. Like, why would you choose that word if you're a Karen? That doesn't sound right to me. So I didn't jump to any conclusions. I didn't really have an opinion about this until Republicans, till right-wingers started taking a lap and taking this as some kind of win. When in fact, 3 years ago, they were referring to this woman as a crisis actor. Also, some people had some egg on their faces. One guy, I don't want to name any names, Vouch, said that she was, that nurses are the females' versions of cops, which I always assumed that female cops were the female versions of cops. That seemed like a really random prejudice to have, and honestly, I want to hear more about that. Just as a viewer, I think there's a story behind that. And another show that has egg on their face would be TYT. Somebody on their network, on their show, I don't want to name any names, Emma Vigeland, claimed that she was pounding shots in the hospital before she got off. Like, she ended a 12-hour shift, apparently, by playing, by sitting at a table playing hearts and pounding shots at Jägermeister or something. Honestly, don't know where they got that from. It sounds like they pulled it out of their ass, but that video is still up on their channel. But go on and keep judging everyone else there, Karen. Oh, incidentally, in case you're wondering, the reason why they were fighting over that bike is because it's an electronic bike. It's an e-bike, and those things apparently go 18 miles an hour. She got off of work after 12 hours. She's 6 months pregnant. She didn't want to pedal. It makes sense. Other guy to me seems like a hog and a bully. Sorry. You could say she weaponized her tears all you want to, but what other weapon were you expecting her to use? Bear spray? I mean, sorry, dude. See a pregnant woman, it doesn't matter. They both made out like bandits on GoFundMe. They're both fine. She's probably not going to get fired. She's probably in a union, and and this is what unions are for.
Help me! Please help me! This is not your fight. Please help me! This is not your fight. This is not your fight. Please help me! Help! Please get off me! What's going on?
The dominant online narrative was that this racist pregnant woman tried to steal a bike from a black man and then made herself out to be a victim with her.
That narrative was professed loudly on a show hosted by a guy named Dr. Rashad Ritchie, who, first off, seems overdressed for the occasion, and second of all, is on TYT.
White tears. Her attorney later provided receipts claiming that she, in fact, paid for the bike, but it felt like...
Contrary to the claims by John Iadarola, also a host on TYT.
No one thought it might be a good idea to just wait and see what the truth was before attacking her.
No, see, on Monday, TYT bashes Karens. On Tuesday, TYT cries about how people are called Karens. Because TYT, as I have said it before, is a tabloid. They are, and this particular year, in order to get subscriptions up and attract a more broader audience over in the Joe Rogan universe, they've decided to start becoming Karens for clicks, because it's all about money for these hacks.
Her employer at Bellevue Hospital was immediately contacted. She was placed on leave pending an investigation. Now her attorney is looking to potentially sue media outlets that propagated false allegations about his client.
Would, like, for instance, TYT?
But we still don't know the full story. And it's better to wait and see how this develops before people try to destroy a stranger's life and livelihood.
I do have to say, both of those hosts are like 1,000 times better. They might even get fired. I don't know. But they probably won't get fired. But because they're far more talented as broadcasters than fucking Cenk Uygur. Cenk Uygur, if you ask me, missed his calling. He should have been a nightclub bouncer.
So, do we feel better about racism in America today? It certainly feels like we're becoming more divided. We're definitely more obsessed with whipping out our phones to surveil one another because, God forbid, we fail to capture one of our peers in their worst moments.
Hear that, folks? If you see a cop beating someone to death, try to resist the temptation of recording them. They could just be having a bad day. I don't use the term Karen very often. In fact, I believe this may be the first time I've ever actually used it. I could be wrong. But I am not in the habit of calling women Karens as a pejorative because my mother was named Karen. She passed away in middle age. And if she knew all you guys were out here calling her Karen, she'd have all your jobs. She's probably rolling in her grave right now, going, "This grave is very uncomfortable. This is not the grave I ordered. I want to speak to the manager, please."